Got live on Instagram. What's goody, my man, Zach Ochoa. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Boxing Rush Hour Show live edition. You have myself, Abraham Gonzalez, and that's Zachary Ochoa, professional fighter. What's the deal? It's Thursday. A lot of stuff going on in New York City. What's poppin', Zach?
Everything is popping right now, man. We got baby oil going around. We got P Diddy, what I'm saying, beating charges. We got a lot of different fights about to happen. We got a bunch of stuff going on. I don't know, man, but it's starting to get the weather's starting to get a little hot in New York. Soon you're gonna have. Well, we already seen. I got the piragua trucks outside. They got the mangoes getting sold on the side of the highways. It's about to get crazy soon. What's going on
Yeah,
with you?
yeah. I'm listen, man. It's weather's getting nice. A little bit of a heat wave here in San Diego, which is a rarity. Because usually around mid 70s to like early 80s out here. So yeah, we just chilling and trying to see what's going on with the people, man. And we're gonna pop some stuff off here in a second.
Are we gonna
Um
pop some stuff up? Or we
yeah,
gonna not no
but
PEDs though, right?
oh man, I tell you, I think I'm gonna start off with this. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. That's whack. Anyway, um I thought hold on. I'm gonna pull up an image here that I saw. And while we're doing that, let's see if it does it now. Uh, let's see if it does it now. Uh, let's see. What is it called? Nah, it's not gonna pull it up. All good. Anyway, we have a card that has been announced for November 22nd. The A&B Arena looks like it's in Saudi. It's going to be called Night of the Champions. The Ring 4. So this is the Ring Magazine event. The main event is David Benavidez versus Anthony Yardy. Then you have Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. for the WBO welterweight title. Then you have Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes for the vacant lightweight WBO title that Keyshawn Davis, I should say, I'm sorry, uh, was stripped of. And then we have Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Puma Martinez, another unification at 115
On the same card.
on the same card.
Card.
Um,
Good card.
only issue that I have is, hey, Bam's got to fight next week. He's got to win that one first.
Oh,
How about we?
they already put in. He has. Nah, man, crazy, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know,
Training camps.
could we not have waited? Could we have waited maybe like a week, for him to handle his business, make sure he don't got no cuts or nothing like that, and then announce that he's going to be on this card? But they went ahead and did it anyway.
You want to jump the
Thoughts?
gun and all
Thoughts
that.
on thoughts on the card?
I think the card is a great card. Any fight with David Benavidez is a great fight, but he's going to be going in there with a tough guy. At this new weight class, God's going to give him a little bit more problems. They got bigger punch resistance. Which he's not used to, and he's never been a big knockout puncher. He just he'll can tear you down with volume of punches. That's what he can do. Now,
Yeah.
as far as Abdullah Mason, I just want to get to him. How does it feel for everybody? How does it feel for Keyshawn Davis to talk to this guy the way he did at that fight, the press conference and everything, and now he's fighting for your belt?
Yes.
It's pretty wild. It's a really
It,
good card. I'm excited to see that fight the most. You
it
know,
is. It is pretty wild. And listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and Is it too soon for Abdullah Mason? I mean, they brought him up pretty quickly. Uh,
No.
is Samuel the guy that's going to test that? I don't think he is, but it'll be interesting to see who he fights after that because there's some real guys down on 135, and let's see how that plays out. Well, other than that, the rest of the card is really good. Um, I had put it out to Mike Coppinger from the ring to see if ring events are going to be on pay-per-view period, like moving forward. He told me at least the November one is going to be, and as far as the future, he doesn't know. He Dan Raphael posted that card that I just said, the November one, excuse me, is going to be $29.99. I don't know if that is going to stick, if that's going to be what the price is at the end, but excuse me, we'll see what it is. Another fight that was announced is this one that I post right here. Naoya Inoue versus MJ
Yeah,
Akhmadaliev. Real good fight.
that fight. That's a good
But
fight.
but again, they're talking about Inoue fighting Picasso in December. And he's gotta win this one. You know what I mean? And so like what are we doing? We got to make
Okay,
sure
I
that
see what's happening. It's becoming almost fast food, right? Fast food. You don't want to turn boxing into the fast food industry. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what happens? Guys not performing at their best. Guys not performing at their peak. Guys getting injured. A lot of bad things happening. Guys get injured. They're not performing at their peak. Then you get fights you don't want because they got to pull out, and then you get trash fights. In the long run, short term, yeah, great, make good money, perform okay, and then for the fans, we love it, all that. But guess what? Long term, you'll be stuck with guys that we don't know, just replacing the other top guys. You understand? So I don't really like this fast food project, I guess, that they got going on here. It's great, the big fights, but with these quick turnarounds, too soon announcements, I don't know.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. I'm just I'm not I'm not with it, but you know, as Apollo Creed said in the Rocky movie, some people got to learn the hard way, and sometimes you just got to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And at some point, I mean, we've already seen it that these plans get spoiled, and it's like, oh, like what do we do next? But I guess it is what it is. Now, speaking of other news, so we had another pop. Francisco Rodriguez, who beat one of the Yaffe brothers in June. He popped for PDs. And then today, Eddie Reynoso came out and put a statement on IG. Felt like he needed to address the situation because people were saying that he's from his camp. He was like, I am not Francisco's coach or manager, whom I had the pleasure of meeting in person just yesterday. The support he was given through the promotion and sponsorship of the No Boxing, No Life brand, who arranged 3 fights with Clase and Talento to try to support him in achieving a championship fight. And then he went on, to say, regarding the positive test, it would be Francisco who will have to make the pertinent clarifications regarding the same. I had no participation of any kind in that fight, nor was I present at it. Therefore, I will not comment on it. And
You
so it
just
was
kind
just,
of
yeah, he just commented on it. It was just a long explanation. But listen, we got another guy popping for PEDs. This tends to when it starts happening, it happens in like waves, and I feel like we're not done with this. It's gonna continue to happen, and the names are gonna get bigger and bigger.
yeah.
We still haven't even gotten like a decision on what they're doing with Jaime Munguia, right?
No.
And so I don't know, like what are your thoughts? We got another one pop for PDs. Matchroom put it out. Matchroom's guy got beat, so they probably have more incentive to put it out there. But what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this, right? My thoughts are if the same guys, right? If the same people, they're always going to this restaurant to eat at this restaurant, this great restaurant, right? And oh man, this guy just passed from a heart attack. Oh man, he eats at this restaurant every day. The next week, one of his boys always eating at that restaurant all the time. Oh man, he's in the hospital. You know, he's not doing good. He has some illness. Third guy, I'm not doing random numbers. These are the actual factual numbers. Third guy, he got, this guy, he's got diabetes now. He eats at the same restaurant with his boys. This other dude, he just finally came, started just hanging out with them. He's been healthy his whole life. Boom. Oh man, now he's not doing good. He's home, stuck in bed. He's not feeling too good. What's the issue here? The issue is the restaurant. The issue is the gym. The issue is the stable. And I like Canelo. I like his people. I like those guys. But guess what? I don't like nobody who disrespects the sport of boxing. The way they say boxing, no life, no boxing. Okay, now boxing, no life. Are you living up to that? As it respectful, or is it really boxing no life? As in, we'll do anything to win, cheat, do this and that. Really think about it, and you can't get mad at me. I don't give a fuck if you do get mad at me because I'm saying these things. But in reality, how many times does this have to happen? The best for one of the best fighters in the world, Canelo, tested, okay. This guy, the heavyweight, tested, okay. And then you got Oscar Valdez tested. Okay, then you got Munguia tested. And then you have now this guy. Shout out to my boy Ariel. Now you got this guy. Yo, it's not good. It's not adding up. If it was somebody else's camp, they would be blackballed in boxing and they would not have any opportunities. If they, I don't want to get into it too much, but it's like I don't like it. I don't respect that. I don't fuck with it. And then him saying he doesn't want to comment in it. No, that's him protecting himself for the future interviews that's gonna be coming soon in August. When he's there, press conference, everything, people are still gonna hit him with those questions. He's not gonna want to answer them. He's not gonna be walking away. He's gonna be sitting. You're gonna see him staying a lot, shy away from the cameras a lot, as much as he can, because he's got the best fight in the world, having the biggest fight in the last 10 years. So how can you even? I don't know. It's terrible thing that's happening around that camp. What do you think about this?
Yeah, man. Listen, I think the blind eye is gonna be kept happening because they're gonna turn the blind eye because of the guy that he's next to. But the moment that guy ends up retiring, Canelo, if Eddie is still in the game, they're gonna gang up him at that point. But as long as he's still next to Canelo, it ain't happening.
They're never. That's never gonna happen. He's gonna be with Canelo. They're inseparable for life. Trust me. Yeah. He's either just gonna retire, be chilling, or whatever, or try to be Nacho Beristain, training people till he's 100 years old.
Yeah. Still wearing size small shirts. All right, listen. All right, we're gonna move on to Jerome Boots Ennis, right? So Boots looks like he officially vacated the IBF title. So the other title is probably will be dropped soon enough. Obviously he's going to 154. There's been this talk about Boots versus Vergil Ortiz for November for a while now, and nothing has materialized. So now, what I'm going to say, you guys that are listening and watching, take it for what it's worth. Vergil is saying that, hey, Vergil and his dad are saying, hey, we offered you a few times, through Turkey, obviously not them specifically, but the fight was offered to Boots a few different times to make, a couple times more what he's made before. So I think he said something like $6-7 million.
Oh my God.
And the answer from Boots was that they needed from his camp was that they needed 2 tune-up fights at 154 before fighting somebody like Virgil or anybody like that. Now, Boots has done like interviews and he's calling, he's like, oh, I'll fight Virgil and I'll fight this and everything. But I haven't really heard him say that, addressing that specifically, that, he was offered a fight and he turned it down. It looks like this ring card in November that was announced, that was going to be one of those fights that was going to be included in that. If the timing is what it is, right? If they truly said November, then there's no question in my mind that Virgil versus Boots was supposed to be part of that ring 4 card.
Maybe.
So now you have, he said type of thing, and they're probably not going to fight. What happens with does Boots take does his credibility take a shot if he doesn't take this fight, a Virgil Ortiz type of fight, and settles for taking 2 tune-ups?
Yeah. The reason why is because I like Jerron. Jerron's my guy, man. I know them. But guess what? It's like a thing. Shout out to Sunny Delight. Yo, it's like how okay, you couldn't get all the smoke at 147. We get it, political stuff and all that. Now you move up. Now you got a top guy, which is Virgil Ortiz, and they're offering you something bigger than you ever had before, right? Now it's like, oh, we need a tune-up to check at the weight. I'm not sure if that's Jerron talking. I wouldn't think so because he'll fight anybody. He's like that. You know what I'm saying? He's good. Him and his father, they don't play that. But I'm not sure what his team is telling him and what they're trying to stick around and trying to get him and promise him other things behind closed doors. We don't know that. All I know is I know for a fact Jerron's not scared of fighting Virgil Ortiz, but his team might be. His team might be scared, not in the fight sense, maybe in a business sense for the future for themselves, maybe not for Jerron, but this is a real big hit for Jerron's for Boots credit. If he doesn't take this fight, because you're going to 154 now, who you going to fight at 154? How about you just straight up fight Virgil Ortiz? Big bang. You go. The whole world's going to watch it. That's huge, and that's going to make Jerron Boots a star if he takes that fight and if he can win. You understand?
And not only that, but it's for a WBC interim title, right? So that is
right there.
Yeah, yep. And that would put him right there for a title fight, right? And so I don't know, man. I think, look, Ennis has had what, like 30 fights already? More than that? Like, bro, your window, he's like 27, 28 years old. The time is now to get the big fights, bro. Like, what are you waiting for? You've been not complaining, but voicing the fact that you weren't getting the big fights. Well, now you're in a division that is nothing but big fights. What are you waiting for? You know what I mean? And so that's
what his team waiting for.
That's a quote. What was that?
What's his team waiting for? What are they doing?
Yeah. So that's probably more like an Eddie Hearn question, but instead Eddie Hearn was on the Ak and Barak show, All the Smoke, I believe it's called. And shout out to my man Remo, my man Wesley, and Corey on the Instagram. Eddie Hearn was like, he was on there and he said that Jake Paul versus Tank Davis is next, and not Tank versus Lamont Roach 2.
How does he know this?
Very interesting. How does he know this? I know Jake Paul has been in the zone business, right?
But he don't really mess with Eddie.
He don't mess with Eddie, but he messed with the zone, and Eddie messed with the zone, so he might know. Another thing is that recently I saw they posted a couple hours ago, I think it was, or yesterday, Jake Paul with Turkey. They took a picture together.
Oh,
And
that's
so, yeah, and so they kind of, whatever that was before, now maybe it's all is forgotten. Could it be that they're talking about, Jake and Tank or whatever? I've spoken to folks and they're under the impression that the fight is still happening. Some even told me that it'll be announced next week, which is 4 weeks away from the fight.
which is a good routine. Which is it's the normal routine of Ring Magazine. Announcing fights while somebody else has a fight already. Yes.
Yeah, so well, next week is Manny Pacquiao fight week, so it would make sense. It's a PBC event that they do that. Excuse me, they do that, but it'll be crunch time, right? So probably no press conference, probably just announcing it, and then fight week doing all the media at that point. So yeah, so I'm hearing conflicting stuff. I think Mike Cobbinger said that he was hearing that the fight is off. But whatever the case may be, I guess my two questions are: do you think that the fight is actually off? And if it is, how much of an appetite will the people have for Jake Paul versus Tank?
The fight cannot be off, bro. The fight can't be off. If the fight's off, yo, Tank, you can't walk around the street like that. Yeah. You ain't getting no respect like that. You ain't getting no respect when you go into the gym. You gonna get respect all, but just ducking this fight puts a real big ass mustard stain on your fucking, career, your credibility. As we was talking about credibility before with Jerron, but guess what? Javante ducked that smoke with Lamont Roach for the rematch. That's not a good look. But I highly doubt that. I think Tank is taking this fight with Lamont Roach, plans to try and stop him, knock him out, and then move on to maybe do the Jake Paul fight. Okay, that I see. I really don't see Tank not doing the rematch. It's like you have to. It's for the streets. It's for the people. It's for the whole world and the urban community. You have to do it. I see that now. Him and Jake Paul. If he does it, if he okay, say this. If he doesn't take the rematch with Lamont Roach and he takes a Jake Paul fight, everybody's gonna buy him out. Tank. They're not gonna like that too much until it gets close to the fight. Then of course they'll watch.
Yeah.
He beats Lamont Roach. If he beats Lamont Roach, takes the Jake Paul fight, of course everybody's gonna tune in for that circus Olay. You feel me? But guess what? That's just what the entertainment business is about right now. So I'll be tuning in. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna watch every single one of these fights.
Now this is the thing. If you're Jake Paul, right, and the people that are backing this financially, do you take the risk of the fight not happening or the appetite for the fight being less if Tank loses to Lamont, right? Do you take that risk, or do you try to overpay Tank now and try to get that event off first and then do the rematch with Lamont later?
I don't know. That's a business move. That's a business move. I'm taking him now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give him all the money now, just in case, because. And to answer this question, so to the South Pod asks, so to the boxing casual old head, why should I take any Jake Paul fight serious? We're not saying you shouldn't or should, but what I think is take it with a grain of salt. It's Jake Paul, the kid from YouTube, you know, fighting guys, very old, and but take it as more entertainment. If you like WWE, if you like that stuff, watch Jake Paul his fights. Unless he really fights a top contender and really beats him or really puts in work, even if he loses, then you got to respect Jake Paul. But love what's happening when it comes to the undercards, the entertainment, the cards, giving people opportunities. Amanda Serrano's, all these people getting them paid and bringing a lot more eyes to the sport, to the South Pod. He's bringing a lot more eyes to the sport, which is great. But is it healthy what he's doing if he tries to buy out Tank and not let Tank take a rematch? It's not healthy for boxing because Tank needs this. It's for his legacy. If he doesn't take this fight, with Lamont Roach, which I think he is, of course, absolutely. He's training like a dog. You know what I'm saying? It could damage his you know his legacy as well. But
Yeah,
that's what I think you should do with a Jake Paul fight. Take what it
yeah.
brings.
Shout out to the South Pod. It's a NFC South podcast. Make sure you check them out on YouTube and subscribe. I appreciate your question there. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with Jake Paul. He takes his training seriously, but his events are events. I was there at Anaheim. It was packed. It was like a big party in there. People enjoy it. People come out. But guess what? Somebody like Floyd Schofield, who had a tremendous knockout over Tevin Farmer, guess what? He had a whole lot of people watching him fight. And people now are probably following him for that. They're like, yo, did you see that knockout? And it's crazy. And just like that. And he probably would have had a fraction of that if he was just fighting Tevin Farmer on his own, right? And so
Yeah, I
um,
believe this.
those are opportunities. Gilberto Ramirez versus Dorticos, that was a close fight. It was a tough fight. But guess what? People might be like, oh, okay, Zerto Ramirez. Oh, this guy might fight Jake Paul. Let me follow what he's got going on. And I guarantee you Zerto's numbers went up. You know what I mean? So all of these things play
Yeah,
into it.
face off. A little face
Yeah,
off.
didn't like it didn't look at it like that. Shout out to y'all, man. I'm locked in. Y'all appreciate it, Corey. Yeah, and so it's what you make of it, right? Now, if he fights Badu Jack, who's the WBC champion, people will say something about it because he's an older champion, 42 years old, I think it is. But that weight class doesn't really have like a lot of big names. So Jake Paul is,
Too many big names.
he's fighting guys, to kind of get his experience up. But until he fights like Badu, Gilberto Ramirez, Jaya Opataya, like those are the champions of the division. When he fights those guys, then that's when we'll say, okay, this is it. Now, if he jumps in there with Anthony Joshua in a real fight, listen, I respect the hell out of him for that. And he's talking about next year doing it. I
If you
respect.
fight Anthony Joshua,
Yeah,
Jake Paul,
yeah,
shit, why not?
yeah. And he get paid. He get paid, and people will come rushing to see that. So we'll see what it is. All right, listen. Moving on to Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano
Yes.
3. All right, so this fight card is on Netflix tomorrow. Let me see if I can pull this up here. GB. There we go. Let's see if it come up. Okay, there we go. So this is the card here. There's other fights obviously in there, but these are some of the bigger ones here. What's your level of excitement for this card here? There's a lot of mixed reactions. I know it's an
This
all
the
women's
card.
card, huh?
This the whole card.
No. There's a lot more fights in this, but it's an all women's card. Women's boxing has made like considerable strides than it was where it once was a few years back. It still can be, better as far as the level of, people knowing what's going on and everything else outside of this main event. Um, do you think that the appetite will be there once Friday comes around on Netflix to watch this? Do you think
So
people are going to be looking forward to this card?
so this card right here is on Netflix.
Yes.
Is on Netflix. Okay, so it's a little hard because anything with women, people, it's like when it comes to sports, people are real iffy about. But the great thing about it, and I'm gonna bring another sport in, basketball has risen in women's basketball big time because of Caitlin Clark and the other girl, and it's awesome for women's sports. So I think that energy can lead straight into women's boxing as well, which they're like, oh, these women fighting. Then you have Jake Paul promoting Amanda Serrano, and he's been talking about it, and all these people watch that stuff. And you have great women that are great athletes, ready to fight, ready to do it, real professionals. I'm excited to see Marshall fight. I'm really excited to see her fight. Alicia, excited to see her fight. Um, which one is Scottney or
Yeah.
Mercado? Which one is which?
Scott needs the one on the left.
Scottney's the one on the left. Mercado, I'm excited to see Mercado because I've never seen her before, and
Yeah.
she looks okay. And Katie Taylor, I can't wait to see her perform. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see these fights. This is for the super lightweight championship. This is their third fight. Both fights have been bloodbaths. So the third fight, they know gonna be no difference in the third fight unless Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor went to Eddie Reynoso's camp and they wind up knocking one of each other's out in two rounds. You know?
Yeah, and so listen, let's talk about that, right? So I was watching the Netflix count. First of all, shout out to Netflix because like you can't go to any social media platform without seeing an advertisement for Serrano versus Taylor. That's a fact. You go on Facebook, social media, TikTok, whatever. They like every other post is Taylor Serrano 3. Like, and that's Netflix pushing that button because they obviously got money invested in it. But I saw the countdown show. They did like a shoulder programming countdown show, 45 minutes. It was a nice production. Uma Thurman, actress, Hollywood actress, she narrated it. So big time, right? Me, as you know, somebody that follows the sport every single day, I didn't really learn too much, right? But for the casual person that may not be in tune with the history of their fights and the rivalry, this was a great way to bring them up to speed. I'll tell you that right now. But there are a few things that I did learn. One, on the Katie Taylor side, her dad, there was like some domestic violence stuff with her mom and stuff like that. So her dad wasn't in her corner for like the last like 10 years. Okay. So she came up with her dad through the amateur ranks. But then once that situation happened, she separated from her dad, got with the coach that she's with now, and then the rest is history. He's back for this fight now.
Wow, really?
Yes. Yes. And so he made a comment which it kind of made me cringe a little bit because I wonder what the coach is going through. He was like, well, nobody knows my daughter better than me. And then, you know, kind of as far as boxing and stuff like that. So it made me cringe a little bit because I could only imagine what that trainer is going through, dealing with that, having to deal with that, right? Because her pops is probably like in it. So that could lead to a little bit of confusion, right? Because when you have more than one voice in that corner,
more than one cook in the kitchen,
sometimes that becomes a problem, right? Now for Serrano, kind of the opposite. So for many years, my understanding that this was the Jordan Maldonado run ship, right? He's the captain of the ship and it's what he's doing and that's it. But now for this fight, she hired a chef. She hired a person in charge of her recovery. She hired like 2 other people to work mitts with her and tactic stuff in the ring, while Jordan kind of takes a step back. Now I don't know if he did that willingly or maybe he just doesn't have it in him to give it the same amount of time and attention that he used to. So he's hired help, knowing that he might need help at this point of his career.
Yeah.
So you hear those things different from the first 2. Are you expecting anything different on tomorrow night?
They might just both come in just slugging, more sluggish. If they're not the same, this guy, I'm gonna go Katie first. Katie's father comes in, and I got a Minecraft Band-Aid, by the way. Shout out to Minecraft. Katie Taylor's father comes in. Hey, Katie Taylor's been world champion. She's been she's the best woman fighter to me, and she's literally had no trouble winning her fights. The father coming in her corner, what difference can you make? Are you gonna make her even better? I'm not sure if Katie Taylor can get even better than what she is. You understand? Can you cause confusion? Yes. Katie Taylor's up to here. Can you even go more hard? What can you add? Knockout power to it? I think what you can add is more stress, more, less dialogue between her and her original coach. Don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of him supporting, though. I'm a fan of him there. Nobody knows my daughter. Like, okay, but you didn't make your daughter the world champion. You understand at this point. You installed the shit in her, you install everything, but you did not make her world champion. Now that can go down. Now, as for Jordan's been doing everything for Taylor-Serrano. They never had money. They got money. They can get a chef, which is good. Hire some people. Now for the mitts part, I'm not really sure. Amanda's had the same people always doing mitts with her forever. I'm not sure about that. She's got my guy Ganito that he be doing mitts with her. I love that. But to switch it up, and the question is to switch it up now, I agree with it a little bit. The reason why I agree with it is because you failed twice. You're doing the same thing. You need to try something different for the third time. And it might just work for Amanda, bro. It might just work. The recovery, sitting down instead of trying to do all of her. When I'm talking about she does it, all she was doing it on her own. She does everything on her own. We're from the hood. We do everything. Ice packs on our hands, on our legs, chilling down, legs up. We got a fan. She's a millionaire. She can get everybody else to do this for her and have her body and mind relax a lot more. So I expect Amanda to come out real sharp. Real sharp.
And listen, is it maybe too relaxed? And this is why I say that, because hold on. This guy just messed
Shout out to Michael Wood, you heard?
Yeah. I've heard her make comments like, Katie, shout out to my business partner, Katie Taylor, or something like that.
You see, that's bad. There's things there. It's not,
Yeah, and so like when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, man, she's like, oh yeah, we've grown to become really good friends and stuff like that, whatever. But you never hear, you always see and hear Katie like locked in, right? Like the ultimate competitor, right?
Go ahead.
And so I'm just like, is Amanda trying to like rock her to sleep to try to maybe catch her, or is Amanda maybe falling into like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of retiring maybe, and then still taking this fight seriously, but maybe just looking at it with a different set of lenses at this point?
I think she's really focused. Yeah, business partner. No, I think she's focused though. I think this is literally just Amanda's. She's a sweetheart, right? But she has this ferociousness inside of her when the ring, and she wants to tear you apart. But it has changed a little bit. She's got money. She's always going to be the same person on the inside, but she's trying to be better. She's trying to level herself up, be more professional, even talk better, even look better. You understand? She's enjoying all of this, but is she locked in? I know when she trains and everything, she's locked in, but guess what? Outside the ring counts too. You got to still be a killer. Yo, Katie Taylor is probably in a fucking in a little closet right now, just looking at the wall. Katie Taylor's crazy. She's probably just looking in the mirror right now while we're speaking, ready to go off because she knows the level she got to get to. And we need Amanda Serrano to be the same way. In the gym, nobody is like Amanda. Amanda is legit a killer in the gym. Now, is it Amanda going back to her little apartment that she used to have?
No.
No, with all her sneakers under the bed or whatever, anything? No. Where she's like, "Oh, I gotta keep on. I gotta keep on. I gotta keep on." No, she's going home to a nice house, nice bed, thousands of pairs of Jordans, all of that stuff. You understand? So that she still got that hunger where she in the gym, she's great, but outside the gym with the silk on, can she still manage to just get that anger? Because you need some anger and really, because I'm be honest, skills for this fight, those skills out the window. They're both not they can level up always, but they're both gonna fight after the first 30 seconds. They're going right back to the way they fought before, unless somebody sticks on the game plan. It's the will now, and in both fights, Katie Taylor outwilled Amanda in certain ways, in just certain ways. Not saying one is in certain ways, as in throwing more punches and getting the points. It's crazy. She looked like she was Timothy Bradley when we fought Ruslan. That's how Katie Taylor was fighting possessed. I need Amanda Serrano to come out fighting possessed. Straight up, I don't care what anybody says. When I hurt her, I don't care if I'm tired and I can't finish her, I'm going to finish her. And that's what I want to see from Amanda.
But this is the thing, though. I think we've seen that in flashes in the first two fights in the first half of the fight. It's the second half of the fight.
The latter.
Yeah, we don't see it, right? Like we see her gas out a little bit towards the end, and that's when Katie Taylor comes on. Okay, Katie Taylor got that second gear.
I love that you said that. Now let me say something. Katie Taylor has been fighting one or two weight classes only her whole career. She has the healthier body right now. Amanda has been fighting at 1,000 different weight classes. This is why I say she's the best fighter in the world, female. Best female fighter in the world. I don't care what nobody says, because she's fought at 1 million different weight classes and a couple different sports too. You understand? So her body might not be rejuvenated like Katie's is. It might not. It might take longer for her to recover than Katie does. You know, she might not be able to kick in that second gear like Katie does. But guess what? Amanda's trending good right now. She's getting that recovery. She might be able to kick that second gear. That fucking after the 6th round, I want to see Amanda just kick into that second gear. And if she can, and I believe she will, that's gonna be a great fight, man. Great fight.
Yeah, and before I mean, I think we're gonna get a repeat, but in the end, how do you see this fight happening? Like how does this fight end?
Man, you this fucking guy, man. Man. I see Amanda win.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm thinking
fight out of these girls, bro.
I'm thinking, and this is probably gonna be the unpopular opinion, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a draw, and we're getting a 4th fight in the spring of 2026. Remember, I said it.
I'll take it. Draw. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Remember, I said it. All right, we're gonna move on to the next card. I'm gonna bring in Capital K himself. He is not in the card this time, so we can actually hear what he's got to say.
Yo,
pick up that bag of laundry you got with the blurry screen.
Hey, Soy Joe.
Hey, to Kevin, man.
I didn't know Sean Porter's little brother was doing a commentary today. Damn, they gotta let us know. We got boxing royalty in the building.
Oh man, what's good, Kevin?
What's up, Zach? Why you doing that? Oh, this guy, he want to come up.
No, I spit in the face of the people I don't like. I'm Carlito, bro. I'm Carlito from WWE.
Oh, this guy coming up again. Yeah, I'm coming up. You think I'm gonna let you slide with the things that you say? Absolutely not.
Let's go.
Hey, shout out to Mike Woods, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this not as long as you have, but long enough for sure.
Bro, Yeah.
Speaking of the boxing biz, and I'm glad that he said that. So we got this Ring 3 card here, headlined by Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz, co-main Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda. You got Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias. Really good fight there. But I want to go back to what I said a few weeks ago, and I mentioned to Zach and I mentioned to Kevin. Queens is not the place to hold a boxing fight. It just isn't. And although there is also this fight card at MSG that could be taking a little bit of the oxygen off of that Saturday fight, like ticket sales just haven't been there for Berlanga-Sheeraz. They curtained off half the arena already, so they upgraded people that bought tickets in those areas and put them in those other sections, and then they put it on pay-per-view for $59.99 when it was just marketed as it's going to be on zone. I know that Kev said that I was hating on the situation, but these are the facts. Like, this is the reality of the situation. Now, me personally, I would have had it in Brooklyn. I still stick to that. Probably would have had a sold out bar. But now he's going to have the Louis Armstrong Stadium with maybe 4,000 people in there. So thoughts on, I'm going to go to you, Kevin, thoughts on the move of them still having it in Queens. And I know that you were like, hey, he's got to get out of that, but this is not a good look.
I think it was brilliant. What is so funny? It's a genius move.
Brilliant.
This guy it was brilliant. It was a genius move because boxing has never been at this stadium before, and we're finally. So you see, guys, this is about trials and tribulations. This is about testing different markets and things, and you can't figure out what works if you don't give yourself a chance to take a L. And this might not be like this might not be a dub, right, off of ticket sales, but it is a dub as far as experimenting and your marketing efforts and moving the sport into a different direction, right? Just like Atlanta wasn't a hot spot when Tank went over there. We don't know Atlanta for a boxing scene, but we did a show there, and so this is what we're doing. We're trying to move boxing in a direction, into different venues, into different places. And yeah, it's not going to be box office every time, but we're giving boxing that exposure, which is what we want. We're a niche sport, right? And with a niche sport, you have to put it in different places and different markets.
Okay, so this is and I am good with what you said until the end, when you said that it's exposing him to new folks. I disagree with that because you are putting it on the zone pay-per-view, so people have to subscribe who aren't subscribed, right? People have to subscribe to the zone and then pay for the pay-per-view. Not putting it on regular cable pay-per-view where everybody can buy it. You're limiting it even more by attaching it to a subscription for you to see it. That's not how you grow. Like, you don't grow that way.
Ready? This is how you grow. You put Edgar, ready? Because if Adam Kanaki could do it, all the Polish people selling out the Barclays in them little cars that he has, even if he got knocked out, put Edgar in Barclay, sell it out, right? You got local shows, get a streaming service that's going to stream it for free or for whatever. Everybody's going to watch it. You get a crazy knockout. You're the man. The revenue, the profits on the food, people going over there, the views will be big time, of course. I understand we want to try out different places, but when you say you want to try out different spot for $60 for people to even view it or even go to that spot and it's all the way deep, it's very hard. It's a little bit of a reach. Maybe that was the cheapest place they can get. But the smaller the venue or the closer to home, it's a lot more better, man. I'm telling you, I get with an 8. He's still gonna eat no matter what. but he would have ate with his fan base in the Barclays, big time. And I know this because I've been doing it with I've been seeing it. We were there, you know. It's big.
Yeah. Well, are your curls supposed to be moving at the same time that you're talking,
Yeah.
Zach, or is that
No.
they
They're
are?
supposed to move like
Okay. Just because they were bouncing extra heavy when you were like talking, so I'm like, oh, he's got even the hair feels the passion. You know what I mean? No,
absolutely.
I'm with you. So Mike Wood said something about free coupons, and Abe, this is something that you brought up about free coupons. Like you guys brought this narrative up, and I had to put a big stop in my inbox when you sent that over to me because it's for kids. Like it was actually for kids, the free coupons or whatever the free tickets are. And again, exposure to the fight, right? You want new faces watching you fight. And I'm with you. So I don't want to subscribe to the zone. I want put it on pay-per-view.com for $24.99. I don't want to sub to the zone. I'm gonna pass on that. I'm gonna pass on that, Zach. Like the fact that you're a professional and you said that is crazy. That's nasty work.
That's what happens. That's what
I don't. I'm not doing that, but put it for $24. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that fight. I'm down with it. But I'm not going to sub for the zone so that I can have to remember 7 days later to cancel the subscription because all I wanted was the fight. I don't want that. That's annoying.
And good luck trying to cancel it because they don't have live people on their customer service.
I've had to do that twice. Twice I had to cancel. So I already know the process. You gotta give them 46 hours before you try to cancel.
Yeah, and see, this is the thing. Like, it was more so like you're not gonna give away tickets if you're doing really well on selling tickets, is what I'm saying. So, yes, he was giving out tickets,
even the kids,
even to kids, but like this is all part of the game, man.
The masquerade. We can't make it like that. We know what the real shit, and we know when it's genuine. I mean, everything is genuine, but if you're having a hard time, then you gotta really get out there and really get them joints away. You feel me? I'd rather have a packed place full of people getting free tickets than having no place and nobody there, and I didn't sell anything. You understand? It's different, but if you're selling out like crazy, if you're selling out, obviously you're gonna say, "Yo, matter of fact, yo, anybody, I'm gonna go to the gym or I'm gonna be here. Yo, come or do something for these tickets, something cool." But this was, this is premeditated, just in case he wasn't gonna have ticket sales, and it happens like that. But the thing is this: fuck what happens now. Edgar knocks this guy out. He don't need to do that again afterwards.
Them kids,
everybody didn't talk about it, and it's a big fight.
Them kids was sick. Them kids was from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They had terminal illnesses.
They were
kidney liver functions, man. A lot of them had,
They were from New York Cops and Kids. They were from New York Cops and Kids. Let's not make it.
Oh, those kids had illness complications and whatnot, man. One of them said his idol was Edgar Berlanga. That's why they give him free tickets.
Bro, they had a 35-year-old amateur there that had a beard and everything. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he was sick, man. He had, kidney issues. He was dying.
So let's
was about to die.
Yeah, let's talk about what's really important here. And Edgar Berlanga calling out Oscar De La Hoya. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're moving on from ticket sales to Edgar Berlanga calling Oscar De La Hoya his stripper.
Oh man,
this dude.
Oh, go ahead.
Yo, this was entertainment, pure entertainment. For those that didn't see it, Edgar Berlanga, Oscar De La Hoya, they got into it. Edgar Berlanga took out a wig, kind of mimicking the famous De La Hoya picture where he was in stockings and the wig, and he threw the wig at him. Then De La Hoya asked him where his Puerto Rico passport is. Somebody should have told him that they don't require one, but okay. And then he was then Edgar started throwing money at him like he was a stripper. He was calling him his stripper. Comedy Central is super entertaining. Do you think that this is I know that I know these guys sometimes be talking about doing stuff like this, but is this genuine? Do you feel like this was genuine heat?
No, this is not genuine. This is for entertainment. This is for the buzz. This is maybe on Oscar's side. Probably don't like this little shit. He's like, yeah, this fucking guy. But Edgar knows this sells. People gonna watch it. People gonna tune in, get the views, all that. He even said, "You're talking shit. You're not gonna watch me if I'm not gonna talk my shit." This is true. You understand? But yeah, this is not. They don't care for that. You know what I'm saying? Oscar De La Hoya the other year was just trying to sign Edgar. You understand? So it's like, but then, it's just all back and forth shit. You know, but it's good. Everything is good for boxing, I guess.
Just
Yeah, yeah.
Michael Woods. Michael is ridiculous. This guy fills out the Caribbean Royale in Orlando all the time, right next to Jake Paul. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, Mike. You don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly what we wanted, Abe. This is exactly what we ask all of our fighters to do. Entertain me. I'm a consumer. I'm spending $60. Show me something. Put on some chains. Get some scandals on Bossip.com. You know what I mean? Get one of these fine Latinas to shake them yams. Do something
Mhm.
crazy. Yeah, like throw the money at Oscar. That stuff gets us to want to watch the fight now. This is why I like this guy so much. He's entertaining. This is what we want to see. This is, give us some of those rap music affiliations. This is what we want. Give us some street credibility. Give us some of that DMX. Ugh. Give us something, man. This guy has carried this whole promotion. Everybody else is quiet. This guy is the king of New York, showstopper, record breaker, world shaker.
Yeah, I don't know about King of New York just yet. He got to win a title, and then he could maybe claim that, right?
He's got the title. He's got the turkey title.
Turkey title, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
He got
guess,
it.
I guess. So listen, let's just talk about the fight, man. Do we get the viral knockout by Berlanga,
I
or
hope, I
or
hope so.
does Hamza Shiraz put it on him? Now I'm gonna tell you some pause. I'm gonna tell you something right here. I'm looking at the odds right now, and Shiraz is the favorite at minus 135. So
Wow.
Edgar's at a plus 110.
I'm
Uh,
bumping.
Berlanga by KO TKO is at plus 260.
I'm putting
Berlanga
money on the TKO.
Berlanga by decision is at plus 350. Shiraz by TKO KO is at plus 270, and Shiraz by decision is at plus 200.
I like these because you can make some money if you bet on Edgar
Yes,
to knock him out. And guess
yeah,
what? Edgar's gonna look to knock him out. Put some money on there. You got your little check. You know what I'm saying? It hit the first already. They been spent it. That last $50, you got to put the money up. You know what I'm saying?
but
That's
Kevin,
that
you hear
little
those
check.
odds? Kevin, you hear those odds? Does that change anything on how you see this fight concluding?
Yeah, I think it's disrespectful to Bugatti Berlanga. Quite honestly, with a person of his immaculate track record and the king of first round knockouts, I think this is super disrespectful against the Hamza Shiraz, who just doesn't
I'm
have the
surprised
same
you know,
qualities.
bro. Yeah, I'm a little.
Um, I he is gonna gun for that first round knockout, and and then he's probably going to the 40-40 club right after. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
man, look, we finna make a statement. All five boroughs finna show up. We gonna make a statement. I already told you that Recaito, Sazon Goya, we selling out. Man, the tostones is gonna be on deck. Arrocito con pollo. Get your flan moving like the curls on Zach's hair. You know what I mean? Gonna be jiggling. You know what I mean? Get the Pulin. Pulin gonna be on deck. You mean? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
and
be a
and Jay
movie.
and Jada's walking them out.
And Jada's walking him out, Joe walking him out, whole terror squad, Remy Ma. You know what I mean? And what's that girl, Remy Ma, and that one? What's Clarissa Shields? They finna make up just so Papoose can walk them both out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a reunion. It's a reunion.
Yo,
This what B does. I call him B. I don't know what y'all call him. I call him B for
They need to clip this part, put it up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a reunion.
So you're taking what, Berlanga by KO win?
Man, we gonna put him in the dirt.
What round?
All of them. No, probably all of them. We gonna put them down in every round.
Listen,
I say 6. I say
6.
about 6, 7. 6, 7.
What you think is that?
Edgar, third round TKO.
Ooh.
And you know why? He might clip him and then actually finish him while he's on his stanky legs. Hearn. Or Hearn beats him, has precision, beating him up a little bit.
I want to ask, Zach, why are you so confident about Berlanga, though? Because we give him a lot of heat. Why are you so confident in Berlanga?
He has good power. He has good power. Okay. He has good power, and he has strong legs. He can hit real hard. But if Sheeraz, he can make it a fight where he just hitting Berlanga's face the whole night and just win by unanimous decision. You understand? If Berlanga doesn't get tired, then he could probably try to push on the gas and try to stop Edgar. You understand? But I think Edgar could hit him with a shot in the third round, bro, and maybe finish him. See what happens. Stanky legs, Bambi legs.
Yeah, honestly, I think this fight's gonna go to the cards, man. And although Berlanga will likely be the winner on the surface, they're gonna make it like a split decision where Hamza gets a card, and then like the other two is gonna be like really close. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens.
You didn't even say your pick, bro.
Yeah. Berlanga by decision.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. Berlanga by decision, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. Now let me tell you, this Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. I'm thinking in my head, I just hope that we don't get another Shakur versus Joet Gonzalez type of fight. Like, I really hope that we don't get that, because if you remember, that was Joet like chasing him, trying to land on him every moment. And I feel like Zepeda sometimes falls into that following people around like mode. I don't know. Like, do we see anything different from Shakur this time? What do you think, Kevin?
I don't think we see anything different. He doesn't know how to do anything different. We he had hand issues, so we can blame some of those performances on the hand issue. I would love to see a Shakur Stevenson who put hands and feet on Jermell Herring. That was phenomenal, and Oscar Valdez. I don't really know what happened to that Shakur. We can blame it on the hands. He said the hands are fine this time, but again, when he fought that German guy, we didn't necessarily see anything different either, right? His last fight on Top Rank. So we really don't. We can expect what we've been expecting these last couple fights. Like, I hate doing the Adrian Broner thing where these guys say they're going to change it up and do something different, and they never do. They fight the same way every time, and it's lackluster, and they underperform. So we can expect a masterclass from Shakur Stevenson to take over the fight and obviously do away with this guy.
Yeah. What do you think, Zach? You think Zepeda is gonna be able to try to box him in enough to get his offense off?
I think the shrinking ring.
No,
right? A shrinking ring, right?
Nah, they ain't doing no shrinking ring.
Listen to me. Shakur's coming out so sharp this fight. He's gonna be lightning sharp. If he lands one jab the whole round, you are not going to touch him. He doesn't care if he lands another jab. If he stops Zepeda, he gets big respect, big time, and throw him in there with those pound for pound conversation and stuff. I understand all his other achievements, but he ain't do no shit like this. He's used to running around all that. I get it, boxing, sweet science, but we're in a violent sport. Let's get violent a little bit, and if he could fucking hit Cepeda, stop him, drop him without getting hit back, or if he gets some quick, that motherfucker, he's gonna put his stock up big time.
Yeah.
But I expect him to be really sharp though. I expect him to be really, really sharp. The thing is, what kind of sharp? Hit and get the fuck out of it, or hit and let me get him out. Let me get this guy out of there. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you talking about sharp like Josh Padley sharp? Because it took him 9 rounds to do away with Josh Padley. Like,
See,
he looked sharp in that fight. Is that what we want?
I'm talking about sharp, like the way he fought Jamel Harry sharp, but not moving. He ain't gonna be moving. Don't move too much. Let's see what happens. Hey, Cepeda might be like, what the fuck? Why he's not going back? And then he might shock Cepeda. Who knows? You understand? But we're gonna see. Remember, Shakur Stevenson is not Bud Crawford. People need to really, really remember that. He does not have the power like Bud. He doesn't have that killer instinct like Bud, but his skills are on a whole nother level, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see. This is, if anything, this is going to be the opportunity for Shakur to either like shoot up with a pound for pound performance, or make everybody right and not have that type of performance, and it's another stinker. And if he does that, that's going to be a little hard to come back from.
You're gonna be getting smoked by all type of media.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard to come back from.
But if he wins, but it's just not this spectacular fashion. I mean, he moves on, right? It's a dub.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just not a win. It's a win.
Yeah, but then if he does that, who does he fight? Who does he fight next? Does he fight?
He's a champion. You got to fight the other champions. You gotta unify. I don't think he fights Abdullah. I mean, we don't want that fight.
Who? Yeah. Abdullah Mason?
Yeah, we don't want that fight. That's an upcoming guy. We don't want that belt or that fight. Well, like, that's not. We don't care about that.
Schofield, bro. You fight Schofield.
Schofield don't got a belt. Schofield don't got a belt. Schofield is gonna fight somebody else.
Give him a shot. Schofield.
We want champions. You always want us to fight these up and coming prospects. Let us get some champions and unify, Zach. That's what we want.
I don't think Shakur is going to fight those champions.
But I tell you what, though,
we just like we've been wanting Cepeda and we've been talking about it. We want Tank. Who's got the IBF? Andy Cruz and that other dude got to fight for that belt.
Murataya.
Give us Murataya. We'll take Murataya for the IBF. We'll take Tank. And who's the other one?
It's unrealistic for these fights to happen so fast. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think Tank is fighting. He might have maybe 2 more fights left, and then he's out. I think it's Lamont Roach rematch. It's the Jake Paul exhibition, and then one more, maybe even a Gary Russell in the DMV. To end it.
Gary Russell.
Yeah, Gary Russell's coming back next week.
The retired one.
Yo, he's coming back next weekend.
Bro, if he's gonna fight Gary Russell in the DMV,
I'm just saying that's a big fight there still, believe it or not.
Do you know how terrible that is? Out of all, you gotta line up a fight. Why don't y'all do this to Tank? Like, you telling Shakur to fight this dude and that dude. Tell Tank to do this. Like, you gonna fight Gary Russell in DMV, no title?
But listen, Tank's already been talking like he wants to get out of here. They'll put talking like that.
Let me tell you something. They'll put 19,000 in that Capital One Arena in DC. Yeah. Easy. Yeah. Without giving away tickets.
It just doesn't make any sense. This is terrible.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the business. This is the boxing business, and sometimes these things, this is how it plays out. Not making any excuses for nobody. It's just given that Tank has already said, "Yo, I don't got that much time left in this." Then forecasting, Lamont Roach rematch, the Jake Paul exhibition that they were about to announce that didn't get announced because of the close fight of the Roach, and then maybe one more after that. And I think that he's done after that. He's done after that. Shakur still got years in the game. Remember, Tank ain't 22 no more. Like he's 30, 31. Like he's still like he's a little bit getting past his physical prime.
Okay, but
Bro, you wild. That's so not true. Crawford is 36.
Yeah, I don't know about the physical prime, but I think his mental prime, because he's been in it since he was a kid. Like he just doesn't want it. No, like he just had all the attention on. He just doesn't want it no more. Floyd Mayweather was in his early 30s or mid 30s, and he was spanking, and he became a fucking actual pay-per-view star after he fought De La Hoya. You know, and I just think, like, just like what it was saying, I just think mentally he's just checked out. You understand? He didn't take those two fights, and I could see it exactly the way Abe said it. Lamont, Jake, and maybe the DMB shit. It literally matches so perfectly. It can happen.
And then just remember, like I say that only because smaller weight classes, you mentioned Crawford, but Crawford is a bigger guy. Smaller weight classes, the amount of time in their prime is a little shorter than the bigger guys. Always remember that.
Yeah, you're right about that, Gabe. I mean, Abe, you're very right about that. Yep. Very short.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see how that all plays out. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Does which fight steals the show this weekend? Out of all of them, Friday and Saturday, which one steals the show? Kevin, I know what you're gonna say, but which one steals the show?
I mean, Berlanga-Sheeraz, man. This might shut down the city, man. This might shut down the city straight up. This is like a big deal. This is two continents. I mean, two countries fighting each other, man. This is a really big deal. Other than that, I would say Puello and Matias. That's a big deal because that's two countries rivaling each other, right? That's a G14 secret fight. Like no one is even talking about that because the rivalry between DR and PR hasn't been built up. But that's actually a really big fight, and neither one of them are profile fighters. But you go to Washington, Heights with some of your Puerto Rican buddies, yeah, and they find out Puello was fighting Matias, yeah, they're gonna have a lot of presidentes for you over there. They're gonna be cracking them presidente beer cans.
And let me tell you, the odds is super close. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, they both had favorable odds. Right now, Puello is only the favorite at -125 and Matias at +100. So that kind of gives you an idea of how close this one is. We'll see. I don't know. I felt like Matias has more wear on those tires than maybe somebody else with his number of fights, because you know he's taken a lot of shots and he's a come forward guy and throw high motor. I think Puello's going to try to Shakur him for 12 rounds.
Puello's he's good like that. He got good distance. Good guy.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin? You thinking that Puello's going to try to outbox him for 12 rounds? And
I haven't seen a whole lot of Puello. I think from the marketing aspect, it would be better if Matias won because now we get that title and we can go unify. It's a bigger profile fighter. We get Puerto Rico gets another champion, right? And so it's just better for matchups. There's a lot more fights that Matias can shoot. Maybe we can get that unification with Theo that we've been promoting for so long. Now it's WBO IBF unification. It's a bigger, better fight for Tio to take that because it's a unification fight. There's other champions that he could fight too that could be a better deal. So it's better if Matias wins, but props to Puello if he does win.
Yeah. Zach, who steals the show this weekend?
Fighter or fight?
Fight.
Taylor-Serrano, Katie Taylor.
Taylor-Serrano, Katie Taylor.
I'm out, man. I'm out.
Bro, look.
Don't worry about this cartoon. You literally just said Katie Taylor and Serrano, bro. Like, yo, man.
Katie Taylor, they steal the show. And if not, guess what? Shakur Stevenson and Cepeda. That's it.
You think Shakur Stevenson gonna steal the fight with Cepeda? Yeah. Why?
That's what I think. Because Cepeda got no choice but to make it. And if Shakur doesn't. It's basically the same thing. I'm gonna keep it a buck. If Shakur Stevenson runs around the ring and just boxes, like just runs around the ring and does not try to hurt him, it's the same thing as Tank not taking the rematch with Lamont Roach. It's gonna kill his cred, bro. I'm telling you right now. So I think Shakur is definitely gonna sit there and do his thing on Saturday night. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. And Zapata has no choice but to go and throw everything at him.
I don't think either one of those dudes, real quick. I think the heat is on the main event. Berlanga has to show up. Sheeraz has to show up because if whoever loses this fight is literally going to obscurity. This is a bigger deal for those fighters than it is for Cepeda and Shakur. Cepeda still has a Mexican fan base. He can still he can team up with Morphine Munguia. You know what I mean? They could do a little matchup in Tijuana. Shakur got his whatever he's got going on. He's a champion, been a champion. We can see him bounce back, but Berlanga and Sheeraz, they kind of can't bounce back from this. Like, this is going to be a big stain.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. I would say that Taylor-Serrano for the future of women's boxing has to be the one that steals the show this weekend. Because if it isn't, then like it's going to be hard to maybe recover from that. Because
picking though,
I think there's it's tough because like what Kevin said, Berlanga-Sheeraz, there's a lot riding on that fight, because for Berlanga, if he doesn't win this one, he takes a couple of steps back.
Yeah, but Sheeraz too though. But Sheeraz is, people don't know Sheeraz too much like they don't know Aya though.
Yeah, but see, Sheeraz is Turkey's guy, and so that's why, like, whatever advantages he's gonna, are out there, he's gonna get. Sheeraz is gonna get. You know what I mean? So it's up to Berlanga to not allow those things to come into play, right? And to get that guy out of there. But again, I also side with Taylor-Serrano, because again, the future of women's boxing, if they don't have a good showing, then on Netflix, like, people are gonna be like, nah, I'm not doing that again. And so and they're going to have the much bigger audience, so they have more pressure to perform, but they're going to be in front of millions of people watching. And yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of split in the middle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, kind of split in the middle. So we'll see what it is.
I'm gonna put some tape on you and then we'll put you back together.
Hey, listen, I think this is gonna be it for us today. Shout out to everybody on the Instagram that tuned in. Looks like Liam O'Brien, KO Artist, Ellie Setback was on there. And then shout out to the 341 folks in the live right now. We appreciate you. We're gonna do a show. Might do a show next week. It might be Thursday, because I'm gonna shoot down to Vegas for Pacquiao Barrios, and then we could talk about Bam and his fight, and then Usyk Dubois. So we might, me and Zach might come Thursday next week again. So definitely not Friday, because I'll be driving down to Vegas. So Kevin, give them all your stuff so that they can check you out.
Yeah, absolutely. On X at Capital with Kev. Again, on X at Capital with Kev. Boxing's most energetic voice.
Gotcha. Zach, talk to the people.
You already know what time it is, man. You can follow me nowhere, but we're here all the time, ready to talk boxing, man, and give you guys the real shit. Nothing scripted, and no favoritism. We just talk the way we want to talk.
For sure. And listen, the website is fightsatw.com. The YouTube is at AMG Boxing. Please hit the like, subscribe, throw in a comment if you watch it later. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Until the next one, peace.